In this video, we will explore a variety of Valentine craft ideas. Whether you're a seasoned crafter or new to the world of DIY projects, there's something for everyone to enjoy. Hi, my name is Katie from Lady Red Crafting, and let's get started with craft number 1. I found this wood heart in my stash, and this was from the Dollar Tree last year. And I'm going to put this on a paintable surface. We're going to start out by using some Waverly Antique wax, and I'm using a small paintbrush. I'm just going to paint the support pieces on the back side of the heart, just the front piece of them. And then after I've completed that, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing for the top and the bottom half of the heart. We're going to leave the center two pieces blank. And once we've gotten a nice coat of Waverly wax on there, I'm taking a baby wipe and I'm just going to go ahead and wipe off any excess wax. For the next step here, I want to make sure that those pieces are completely dry. So I did use my heat tool just to make sure the wax had completely dried. Next, I grabbed my plaster paint from Waverly and I'm just going to dry brush over the top of that wax. And I just love how this turns out. It gives it a soft, rustic look. Now once that is complete, I went ahead and I grabbed some Waverly chalk paint in the color Ballet Slipper. And we're just going to take this paint and paint one of the stripes that pink color paint. And for the last stripe in our heart, I'm using the color Plaster from Waverly chalk paint. We're just going to paint a nice coat of paint over that stripe. Now let's set that heart aside and let that dry. While that's drying, I grabbed this fun love sign that I did get at Walmart, and we're just going to do the same woodworking on it like we did on the heart. So we're taking the Waverly wax paint, we're painting a nice coat over the top, and then we're going to wipe any excess off with the baby wipe. And once it has completely dried, we're going to dry brush that with our Waverly paint in the color Plaster. So this love sign is about 7 inches in length. And so I'm going to cut a piece of ribbon, and this ribbon I did get at Walmart as well. It is considered a mesh burlap ribbon. I did get this at Thanksgiving time, but they do normally have it by their burlap ribbons at the store there. So I cut my piece of ribbon at 11 inches, and that is a little bit longer than the heart itself, but it does have a rough edge on it, and I wanted to fold the ribbon over. And the nice thing about folding the ribbon over on this ribbon is it's very forgiving, and it looks like it's part of the pattern. Next, I'm taking the hot glue, and I'm using some hot glue and a makeup applicator, and I'm just going to hot glue this to the center of our heart. Now let's take our love sign and center it in the center of that piece of ribbon, and using some hot glue, we're going to hot glue that in the center of the ribbon and the heart. And I'd like to take a moment to thank all of my current subscribers and future subscribers. If you're not a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button below. Thank you. Now it's time to add some finishing touches to our sign. I'm using some snowy greenery that I did get at the Dollar Tree and these beautiful flowers that I got at Walmart. I'm just going to go ahead and hot glue a little piece of greenery and a single flower to our love sign in the center there. Next, we're going to reattach the twine hanger that came with the heart originally. And you can stop here and hang this heart anywhere you'd like in your house, but I did want to add a wreath to the back of my heart. I found this wreath at Hobby Lobby a few weeks ago on clearance. And this works really good for a background for many different wood signs, so it's a great staple piece to have in your decor. And I just love how this piece turns out. I can't wait to hang this on my door. Please let me know what you think in the comments below. Moving on to craft number 2. For this craft, I'm starting out with a broken picture frame, a grapevine heart from the Dollar Tree, and some large popsicle sticks. So we're going to start out with this broken picture frame, and basically the glass just broke out of it, and I saved these frames for crafting later on. And I'm using these jeweled stickers that I got at the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to add dots all the way around the edge of this frame. So while I have a moment, I want to tell you all about a wonderful playlist I'm a part of this month, Recreation Inspiration, hosted by Amanda at 6 Kids at a Glue Gun and Charlene at Crafty Art Shack. This playlist is about recreating designs from another creator. My inspiration this month is from this amazing creator, Christine Elizabeth. Her video and the videos to the playlist are all linked in my description box below, so please check them out and give them some love. Thank you. So now that we have all of our dots applied, I'm just going to go ahead and remove the backing from this frame. I then place the frame on a paintable surface, and I grab my Waverly chalk paint in the color Plaster. We're going to give a nice coat of paint over the top of these stickers and the frame. And once we did the first coat of paint, I did dry everything with my heat tool and ended up doing a second coat of paint over the top of everything just to make sure everything was covered completely. Next, I grabbed my measuring mat, and we're going to measure out the backing for the frame, which was 4 inches. And you can do this with any frame, so whatever size frame, as long as it's smaller than the length of your popsicle stick. And now I'm going to take a razor blade, and I'm going to score where I'd like to trim the popsicle stick using that razor blade. And for trimming the popsicle stick, I don't have miter shears, but I do have these cutters that I got at the Dollar Tree in the garden section for $1.25, and they work really good for cutting popsicle sticks. So to fill in the opening on my frame, I needed to do this 6 additional times for 6 pieces of popsicle sticks that look like nice little wood panels. Now I'm taking some blue painter's tape in a paintable surface, and I'm just going to go ahead and tape down these pieces of popsicle sticks to my piece of cardboard. Now let's grab our Waverly chalk paint in the color Plaster and go ahead and put a nice coat over the top of all of these popsicle sticks. Now once your wood pieces have dried, I'm using some Waverly chalk paint in the color Ink, and I'm going to really lightly dry brush on the edges the black paint. And if you get a little bit too much paint, that's fine. Once this is completely dried, you're going to see me go back over the top of these popsicle sticks with a bit of plaster paint just to get the right amount of distressing onto these pieces of wood. Now while these pieces are drying, we're going to repeat the same step on our frame using a little bit of that black ink just to distress mostly around where those little dots are at. And then you'll see me there drying everything. And it's a little bit darker than what I would like, so I am going to come back around using my plaster paint and just give a nice light coat over the top, which gives it a nice rustic and distressed look. Now let's let that dry and grab our heart. So I'm using some of these flowers that I got at the Dollar Tree, and I'm just trimming off the very tip of the flowers. And I'm taking a little bit of hot glue, and I'm going to add the flowers onto our grapevine heart. If you're still watching, don't forget to hit that like button below, and if you haven't subscribed, please hit subscribe. And now that we have all of our flowers applied to our cute little heart, I'm taking some of this twine and I'm going to make a 3-layer basic bow. So basically this is just using 3 little pieces of twine and tying a nice little bow. And once we have our bow tied, I'm going to go ahead and just trim any excess pieces off, and we're going to add this to our cute little heart. Now let's go ahead and put all of these pieces together. Let's grab our frame and the cute little pieces of wood we painted. And flipping over the frame, we're going to put in the pieces of wood where the glass would have been. And before I hot glue these down, I do make sure that they all fit nicely in the frame. Then I'm going to go ahead and hot glue them just in case there's any trimming that needs to happen. For me, I found that it was easier to just do one little bead of hot glue per piece of wood, so I wasn't trying to race the clock trying to get all of the little pieces of wood in there before the glue set. And with that last piece glued in, we flip this frame over and wow! Now let's grab our grapevine heart and center it in our frame. And I'm going to use some hot glue to attach this in the middle of our frame. Now, depending on the frame you use, you may or may not be able to reattach your backing. I was able to attach my backing with no issues, but you may need to glue that on or not use it in the future. And now this perfectly lovely frame is ready to display on a tiered tray or a shelf. Rolling on to craft number 3. So for this craft, we're starting with a decorative box that I got at the Dollar Tree, some floral foam, and some flowers that I got at Walmart. Now let's grab the floral foam and cut a 1/4 inch rectangle off of this piece of foam. And I'm going to repeat this step twice so that I have 2 rectangle pieces. Now I'm going to take these pieces of floral foam and I'm going to insert them inside of my box. It's not a perfect fit, but it's well enough. As long as there's less than 1/4 inch around the edges, it'll work just fine. And to attach this foam in, I'm going to use some hot glue. So I found these beautiful bunch of flowers at Walmart, and I'm going to go ahead and remove 9 flowers from this bunch to put inside of my box. If you have a bigger box, you may need more than that. So with this box, it had some cute little decorative pieces on it, and I wanted those to still show. So I put those on the left and the right side of this box because I'm going to be standing this box up, and so I wanted them to still be present. Next, I'm taking my flowers and I'm just inserting them into the floral foam. And depending on your stems and your foam, you may or may not need hot glue. Now, once all your pieces are inserted in the foam, I grab some Spanish moss and I'm going to take this and I'm going to just pull this out of the container and try to make some long strips with it. And what I'd like to do is just place this around the outside perimeter of the flowers. Once you're satisfied with the amount of Spanish moss, I take some scissors and I give a quick little haircut to those pieces just to make sure there's no stragglers. And that is all you have to do. It's just that simple. This is a perfect little piece for a desk or to put on a tiered tray. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. And until next time, please remember, craft more, stress less.